Today's video I'm going to show you how to install and boot up Sun Solaris 9 in UTM. So this will only work on Mac OS because of the UTM software, but the software could potentially be extracted, used in different virtual machines. So we're going to have to download the software. It's going to get stuck. We're going to do some keys, and I'm going to show you what to type to get this. So we're going to go over to the UTM website, and then the one specifically for Sun Solaris 9 is this URL. So if you go over to the UTM website, you can download it there, and you go to the gallery and you'll scroll down to Sun Solaris 9. So once you're here, we're going to click on download. We're going to see that this file right here is getting put into our downloads directory. We're going to wait for it to get downloaded. And then we're going to put the Sun Solaris 9.utm wherever we want to actually run our virtual machines. If we leave it the way it is, it's going to run from the downloads directory. So I actually already have mine, so I'm going to throw that file away. I keep mine under my name and then virtual machines and UTM. So here is my file right there. So it doesn't necessarily matter where you actually have it. So now, you'll double click on it and it's going to get added automatically into one of these items here. Now I have some additional text which we'll cover later, but you're going to just start the machine. And we're going to notice that this is going to get stuck on looking for ARP and RARP request. So this will just indefinitely stay here. So in order to resolve that, we're going to click on virtual machine, send key. And at first you're not going to have the stop A or tab. So we're going to do edit, and we're going to say new, and we're going to look for the stop down here. And then we're going to add that, and then we're going to do the A key, which is right there. We're going to add that, and so now that we have those two, we're going to click done, but because I already have it, I'm going to actually delete that one. You can drag and drop these in the order. Now initially I had issues with my keyboard, so I had to come back in here and I had to create a tab send key in order to get that fixed. So you might need to do that later. So returning back to our broken machine that's waiting on ARP and RARP, we're going to go virtual machine, send key, stop A. And now we're going to type set defaults. That's plural. So there's a hyphen and it's plural. And then now we're going to type as two words. We're going to say boot space disk 0. And then we're going to hit enter. Now this is going to actually freeze. We can see the spinning. This black whatever icon spins around, but now it's stuck. So this is fine. Well, as fine as it can be with a system that doesn't boot correctly. So now we're going to click this icon over here, restarts the VM. In my limited experience, I've done this a couple times, but anytime I've done a shutdown, when it comes back online, it gets all messed up. So just choose the third icon that restarts the VM, and we're going to say, yeah, it's okay if we lose any data. And now what should happen is the system should boot a little bit different. So now what we're going to do is type boot disk 0, again as two words. And it's going to look like it freezes, like right there where the icon quit spinning. So about 5 seconds later or so, maybe 10, it will continue to go. And now, as we can see, it's picking up the network mask and I don't know, a bunch of other things, right? Host name. And it brings us into the GUI. All right, we're going to get this so that we can capture the mouse input. So if we get the mouse like up towards the top of the screen, and we can click the capture input device. And what this is saying is that we're going to have to push control and option at the same time in order to free the mouse. So I'm not going to toggle this because I'm probably going to forget in the future. So I want to be reminded every single time. So I'm going to choose OK. And now we can see that the Solaris mouse is moving around. So if you don't have this red border, what you may need to do is possibly even hit your control option and get up in the virtual machine, send key, and send a tab. So if your machine does not have the red border around here, this text, then what you will need to do is do Control Option to free your mouse, and you're going to have to send keys. So let me show you an example of that. So now I have the Help button highlighted. So when I'm trying to click in this box so I can type my username of root, it's not letting me. So this is when I would have to come up into the virtual machine and do a send and send a tab and I might need to repeat it until I can get that box highlighted. Once here, we're going to type root with no password, and it's going to load the common desktop environment. And now we are in Solaris. So we're going to recapture our mouse, and we can just simply drive around. We can look at all these things. So now that this is fired up, we can see that this is Netscape Communicator, and we can go into Help and About Communicator and anything else, and just left click and close, and we can look at some of these different things. And it's kind of the start menu is scattered out over multiple windows here, so you just have to keep toggling around. If you want to get to the terminal, it's over here under this system monitor thing, and then console, and then you can type your various commands. Something that I did find interesting is if you go under Help and About a few of these things, like the terminal, it says volume up here for whatever reason, and it gives you the information on the Common Desktop Environment 1.5, but strangely, the California is misspelled in the copyright. So copyright 2010, Palo Alto, California. I don't know why that is, but just some quirk that I had found as I was stumbling around. Now, in order to shut this thing down correctly, we need this command. So I'm going to type man shutdown, so that we can take a look at what we're actually trying to put together. So this is the syntax. We need shutdown. We need to acknowledge whether we want a yes or no. The grace period. Modern Linux uses a T for time in seconds, but this is a G, also in seconds. And then we have this I, and we need to give it an init state. And so if we spacebar, we can give it a 0, a 1, a lowercase s, uppercase s, a 5, or a 6. So I know it went by fast there, but 5 is to shut the system down, and 6 is to restart it. That's the important part. So shut down dash yes, and then we want a grace of 0, but it could be 10 seconds, it could be an hour, it could be whatever. And we want tac I of 5. Now, unfortunately, the next time that you restart this computer, so I'm going to start it up again. It will get stuck on this timeout waiting for our ARP packet. Again, I don't know how to stop that, but virtual machine, send key, stop A, set -defaults, plural, boot disk 0. This will crash. Third button, and boot disk 0. So as we can see, it is just kind of weird that it has to be done every single time. If we're at this login screen, just go over to the command line login, and you have to log in as root, and then shut down tac y grace 0. Well, I hope you found that helpful. Thank you for watching. Take care.